so you can see how messy mine is, just in comparison. But I'm sure you can imagine knowing how I am, John. Jonathan, quickly, minute and a half predictions. People need to know the guaranteed winner predictions here. Jonathan, give it to us.
Player with the least stats, that's so hard to call because I can see Savage dying a lot, but I can also see maybe 43 dying as well. I mean, it's just the nature. Like, knowing how Lilgun likes to play, they're probably going to gun Savage down. It could still be a safe bet to say Savage, though. Team with a first Roshan kill. Again, it's like it really just depends on the early game. Maybe Lilgun, because they've got such a better draft. Most last hits at 7. That's either Mikado or Sanctity. I feel like, if I had to wager a bet there, I might say Sanctity. Player with the highest total physical damage done to heroes at game end. I want to say Sanctity as well, but Savage probably has a good shot at that if this game drags long. So, a bit of a mixed set of bets there. Yeah, a little bit of back and forth. Because I did get everything wrong last time, so now I'm like, all right, we'll just split this one up. No all-ins.
Don't know what you're talking about, John. You're always right. Always right. The game was wrong, John. The teams were wrong. That was the problem. It's not you.
It's not me. It's these damn kids playing this game. Not playing according to their strengths and all.
So we'll see first if a level 1 team fight's about to break out. Doesn't really seem like it. Both teams being quite conservative with their positioning. Focusing more on voice lines than anything, which is very important in this day and age, John. You've got to have your voice line game going very well. Lilgun not going to back off with the voice lines against the Thai Beast 23 Savage. They will spam their own voice lines here. We'll see how it all goes. Of course, KP did end up taking that Bat Rider that you talked about as well, and Makoto ends up taking the mid Pango for himself. Fair enough. Lilgun. You're running the mid Ember. In fact, never mind. Excuse me, the mid Sniper, I was meant to say. There's Talon. They will secure that top banner inside. Lilgun gonna head down to the bottom side and should be able to get a 2-for-2 trade, so no problems here for either side. Let's start off with this mid lane, Jonathan. You've got Makoto against 4-2-3, the Sniper versus Pango matchup. Who has the advantage? How does this lane go?
I'd say a Sniper has a pretty good time. You can just spam out the shrapnel, play with a headshot, get a value point and take aim and kind of outgun the Pangolier. Mikado still has some play with a swash and a shield crash, although it's really hard to land that shield crash early on. You can see just how much damage shrapnel level 1 does to Mikado. It's not going to be a good time if 423 gets that. And the mid lane's very constrained in comparison to other lanes, so it's not too tough for 423 to get that done. We'll see how much more he can leverage. But Mikado, once he does have a level 2 or 3, it should be slightly more playable, although it's a sniper advantage for sure.
Yeah. How about those side lanes? Of course, bottom lane. You're going to have Ace 12 and Sanctity. They're going to be against KP on that Bat Rider and, of course, Q on the Marcy. Now, this does seem like a relatively dangerous lane here for Lilgun down on bot side. But you do have the Undying who should theoretically dominate, but against the Bat Rider Marcy, it really could turn the other way very quick. Just one dispose with some decent sticky napalms and you're in trouble.
Yeah, could end up being on the wrong side. Ace 12 is pretty tanky, and the one nice combination here for Lilgun is you can soften up these targets very much with Decay. Just get some really good Sleight of Fist damage. Once you have the Orb of Corrosion up, let's say level 2, level 3 Sleight of Fist, KP and Q will melt. So they also have to watch out for just how much Ace 12 can get out. He still has 3 mangoes left. Kind of spam that Decay out, and you're just really soft targets here for even the Ember to just get some early damage off.
That's a good point, Jonathan. Of course, mid lane Makoto copying it quite hard here from our Sniper. Is going to be able to make it through, but 423's been doing a real fantastic job of just harassing him. Well, you already pointed this out, John. Of course, the Sniper's going to have a massive advantage here against Makoto's Pango. Not going to be a good time for Talon in this mid lane whatsoever. Then, of course, that top lane. Kishka, the Pos 4 Skyrath, along with 11 on that Pos 3 Beastmaster against Hyde and 23 Savage. Of course, Savage right now having a very solid start on that safe lane, not really struggling too much. 11, he does end up going for the 1-1-1 build. Wants a bit of everything here. Of course, the balls don't really do too much. And I say 1-1-1, obviously the inner beast hasn't been leveled yet. He's still level 2, John, but you get my point. Balls aren't going to do too much in this laning phase, especially against the Ench. Can always just enchant and take them away. You'd imagine 11 does end up going for the Axes build here in this laning stage. It just doesn't. It doesn't feel like the ball build's going to do anything.
Yeah, it's really not going to accomplish much. Hyde is just constantly cutting off. He's doing some good damage off. He's got the enchant ready if the boars do come up. And you are actually having a really good lane for Savage. Like, he's not being slowed down that much, which is really good news, because the early presence of Sky with the magic damage you can pump out is dangerous.
He's alright. Ace 12. It's going to be just fine as well. 24 stolen strength with Decay. He's a tanky boy right now. He won't mind standing in that Firefly as KP having 16 of his own strength stolen away from Ace 12, and Q not looking too healthy either. Sanctity obviously forced TP out in a bit of an awkward position, but they didn't have a way to cancel, so he was just fine. Happy days for the side of Lilgun, and I did point out Savage having a very good laning stage, but Sanctity, he's having an even better laning stage right now on that Pulse 1 Ember.
Yeah, he's not being slowed down too badly. It's kind of a replica of what would happen with mid-Bat versus Ember, although in a 1v1 lane that might be a little bit easier for the Bat Rider to play. Still a rather tough one with the mobility on hand. Ace 12.
Well, he still has plenty of strength here. He'll drop the Tombstone, but the Firefly's doing a lot of damage. Ace 12, he is going to drop. KP, able to secure First Blood as Q, does even find the Tombstone. Sanctity, he'll try to chase him down, but chains are up in 1 second. He'll land them. Q has rebound, goes to the Dispose, needs a creep wave, is rushing towards his own creep wave as Sanctity is still going to find him. A double kill for the Ember. Even if you find First Blood, Sanctity, he's probably going to be happy with that.
He gets solo EXP, hits level 4 into 5 relatively soon, and it's just back to how the Undying and Ember Spirit lane works. You soften them up with Decay, your right-click damage with Slight is just that much higher, and you don't have counterplay. You don't have any way of self-dispel on hand here, so you're always going to feel great on the side of Lilgun to get that aggression going, which is what they like to achieve. A little bit of tag here, Kishka.
Yeah, he's in trouble. Hyde chasing him down. Borslow is actually going to save the day. Tomato Creep will keep chasing. Courier is going to go down. Oh, that's a valuable Courier. Brown Boots and the full stick and wand is gone now. Hyde doing a fantastic job. He doesn't find the Skywrath, but I'd say the Courier was probably more worth it, honestly.
Yeah, that's a lot that you need here for
Mid
11
lane.
to just hold the lane more.
4-2-3, Q's rotated. That's a great setup, and Makoto finally able to get some revenge on this sniper for all the harassment. Q saving the day here for the mid Pango.
Yeah, they just get the angle up. There's no protection out here from Lilgun to stop that movement. I'm surprised. And maybe just down to how much harassment was coming out on the sidelines. Like, Kishka is just not able to leave the lane, constantly being tagged up by Hyde. And you've got Ace 12 just tied in bot as well. So Talon had room to kind of just rotate in from that movement. They are clumping 3 heroes in now for those power rings, so.
They are. Makoto jumps in. Ace 12, happy to tank through it. Power rune will be up top side anyway, so Kishka's going to go ahead and take that arcane rune for himself on the possible Skywrath. Of course, as the sniper doesn't really care for the power rune right now anyway. Just wants to make sure Makoto doesn't pick it up. Bottom lane, they are going to rotate though Talon. They have the Rolling Thunder available in Makoto, so they want to try and hunt down Sanctity. Sanctity is basically 1 creep away from that level 6 mark and does get it. So he's fine. Chances are you aren't going to kill him now. In fact, even the Undying, they spotted out the Pango anyway. Ace 12 walked right past Makoto.
Yep, and they've got good vision down here from the side of Lilgun to prevent any rotations from coming through. I'm just going to have to play it safe on that bot lane. Still trying to play tag up top, but Hyde's caught out now.
A nice little hurricane on himself. Assassinate. It's going to be there, but the damage is not. Kishka needs a bit more. Not going to find it. Very cheeky little play with the hurricane out from that Watering Ripper. And it does actually save the day.
Yeah, it works out. Hyde is still playing tag.
Oh, he might die now, but they'll at least find a decent trade. Kishka set to drop and will do so. Makoto, he'll be happy with that. That's a pos 4 for a pos 5 trade in the favor of Talon.
Yeah, it still goes the way of Hyde with his micro on the Wild Wing. So Makoto doesn't quite get all the gold for himself, but a little bit of support tax coming out there for Talon's end. 3-3 start, less than 1k lead coming out for Talon. You already have Savage dipping into the jungle at this point in the game. Terrorblade has just been allowed to kind of just get this farm up, and that's a cause of concern. You still have some early timings left for Lilgun, but as long as Savage gets some room for himself to farm, that's where Talon feels happy. They'll be able to buy some space, stall out this game, try to get really big in the Terrorblade, and just have everything kind of pinned onto Savage. You're also getting really good build up in Mikado, so it's not like you're sacrificing too hard to get that space out. Mikado already at level 8. We haven't quite seen the rollout yet, so maybe gonna have to eye out a rotation down the line, but it is feeling good for what Talon has in mind. Mind you, the mid-game spike of Lilgun is still lined up for, and it's not gonna take too long for that threat to be underway. Although, with the Axis build on 11, that does mean that you're not gonna see, say, early shove-outs coming in from the Beastmaster, at least in taking objectives.
Lane Makoto going to show up again here on the Pango. Meanwhile, seeing KP take a lot of ancient stacks for himself here on the Bat Rider, so just wanting to make sure KP is able to secure that very early blink timing on the Bat. That's fair enough. So you love that kind of lockdown against the Ember Sniper. So you do want to just give the Bat Rider as much priority as possible this game, at least until he has that blink. Meanwhile, Makoto, he doesn't end up finding anything bot lane once again. He does pick up a haste rune for himself, so maybe he can try to set up for something, but it's a bit rough. You could find Ace 12 on the Undying, but that's not really the kill you want for this rotation. Pings are out, they might just settle for it. Makoto, he'll make the jump in. Ace 12 will go for a bit of a soul rip, but surely will drop here as they do purge him up as well. Hide. He's got the little Satyr Banisher. That'll be another kill to go the way of the Pango. So he does get something for his time. Again, not the greatest kill, but it's better than nothing.
Yeah, you really need that ramp up into the defusal time here for Mikado. So he'll take what he can get. Some space opening up mid, quickly just shoving in. They still haven't had a good answer out for Sanctity on the Ember. But again, that's kind of to be expected. Just very hard to reach with a 6-up, although.
Sanctity chains out. Remnant is there. He'll get back towards the south into the tree line. Can they cancel? No. He'll TP away. Q still having a look around in the tree line, but won't find him. So 3-4 now. 2k advantage the way of Talon. Big positive here is Savage has been free farming this whole time the Terrorblade. As the TB, you are naturally just going to outscale and outfarm the other cores because you have those inbuilt illusions. Just farm the whole map with them. The Sniper not too far behind, working on towards that Maelstrom. Currently has a Javelin up and 4-2-3. She is going to smoke up with Ace 12 to try and defend this bottom tier 1 tower. Q will break the smokes, and the Observer Ward is there to give the information away to Talon, so they're going to be fine to retreat. In fact, they might even think about going back in. They have Rolling Thunder up. A decent initiation, I'm sure Makoto will pop it. Still Remnants forward, Sanctity going to catch out the Pango for now. Silence is there, Makoto! Oh, he gets caught with his pants down. That's not good news for Talon. They've got to retreat here as Hyde. Should be okay. Sanctity, he won't chase for him, but instead he'll go for Q. Great Remnant forward from Sanctity. Q is still going to run. Shrapnel's there, Sanctity. He'll have another Sleight of Fist up and we'll take him down. They even find Hyde. And all it costs them is Kishka on the Skyrat. That's a great trade.
And they do lose 11 up top, but you're much more happy with the trades down. But they overstayed their welcome. Talon looked like they were on the retreat. They hang around. They don't respect the Ancient Seal combinations on hand. Ancient Seal assassinates a lot of magic damage. The Silence just kind of ruins your Pangolier right now. Mikado doesn't have anything defensive. So Lilgun managed to make that huge commitment work. It still is a lot of space out for Talon's key heroes, though, mainly in Savage, and they're not lagging too far behind the rest of the heroes just yet, but you have to kind of prevent Lilgun from finding these kinds of trades, because eventually, if they find a couple more team fights like that, it does become all about just the Terrorblade, and Terrorblade against the world in this game is just very different.
Yeah. India's Rune going to spawn up top. 4-2-3 should be able to go ahead and pick that one up for himself and the Sniper. Bottom lane, there's still a bit of a push going, but very, very slow process. Meanwhile, top lane, Lilgun, they were hanging around trying to see if they could find Savage. Kishka is eventually going to spot out the Terrorblade. Savage, not really afraid though, he's just going to stick around and keep farming that dire jungle. His team is somewhat nearby as well. Talon, they are going to smoke up as 3. KP, Makoto, and Hyde going to make their way over to Savage. And the TB, it might just be baiting time for Savage. In fact, never mind. He'll back off and get back to farming as Talon. They want to go for the surprise reveal of the blink here onto KP. They'd love themselves 11 on this Beast Mask, and they'll spot him out. There's your Flame Break. They may not even need the lasso. Rolling Thunder, it may just be enough to lock him down. Ace 12 is going to show up with the Soul Rip. It's not going to help them. They've got the Beast down. In fact, they even found Kishka. They'll hold on for the lasso for another day. That's a great smoke rotation now from Talon.
They make it work, they find some good punishment. They're keeping 11 down by a huge margin. Below even KP's net worth, opted for the Vlad's first before the Helm of Dominator. And that is going to be rushing into the Overlord. So you don't have that early presence out from the Beast just yet. They're going to rotate early. They know there's no roll here on Mikado.
You hold him down long enough though. Sanctity, they keep chipping away, but without the follow-up of the roar, Makoto's going to be just fine. Meanwhile, mid lane, T1 Tower's gonna drop Hyde. He just gets it done by himself. One of the beauties of the Enchantress, John, you could just dominate it, creep, get so much bonus damage and take a T1 Tower down on your own. KP in the meantime, mid lane in a bit of trouble. He's gonna try and make his way out, but the Assassinate and Tombstone making it very challenging to get out of that scenario. The Talon, they will lose their Batrider for that mid T1 Tower. I'd still say worth for Talon, especially considering they are now 3k ahead. Hell, they're even gonna find a nice little regen rune there for Makoto. Happy days.
Well, they managed to reach that spike here with Mikado. He's got the Diffusal Blade up. It's a little bit more output here, and it's a little bit easier to hold people back with the Inhibit, so you should be able to get a nice chase going. I still feel like you have issues keeping Sanctity down and trying to reach into the backline to find 4-2-3. The Sniper is starting to feel fairly well protected, but your build-up on Savage is ramping up. Only one part away from the full Manta, and then suddenly the silence coming out isn't going to be an issue. Still a smoke on smoke here.
Broken Sanctity, gonna run to Hyde. That's not quite the target, but they might still be able to blow him up, and they do. Not a bad start, but now the lasso, it's gonna catch the Ember. Sanctity, can he get out? Not quite. Makoto, perfect timing as they even found Ace 12. Hyde, perfect positioning to break the smoke and just tank the gank initially. Talon, they will find a great trait.
They make it work. They find really good punishment. They manage to catch out the Ember. Sanctity held back by really good chain stuns coming out from Makoto. The sync there in Talon just really good. Like, it's a hard here to pin down. You have to get a really good combination of the lasso and the roll and the rebound. They managed to land that perfectly. They might find punishment though.
They may. Makoto, he's going to try and go for a run, but the Mystic Flare just going to lock him down, take him out. A lot of damage being pumped out by Kishka, so a massive pick-off now for the side of Lilgun. As they do head down bot and try to find a way to defend this against 23 Savage. The tier 2 tower dropping so low, but now Savage, he's in big trouble. He'll make a run. No chase coming. Instead, they're going to find KP on the Batrider. Commit the Roar. They'll find the offlane bat. Another kill to go the way of 4-2-3. And slowly but surely, this sniper is catching up in net worth.
Yeah, he's up there. Number 2 right behind Savage, ahead of Mikoto. With a Maelstrom and Dragonlance, he does a lot of damage from very far back. And that's the next issue for Talon. You might be able to keep down Sanctity's Ember, but you can't keep him down and catch the sniper out. It just doesn't seem feasible that you'd reach into both areas of the map at once. Gonna have to go in for the defense here.
They've got no meta. They've only got the Rolling Thunder of Makoto. Hyde, gonna get jumped. No, they found Makoto. That's the much bigger target. He'll try to run and actually does make it out for now. Hyde, he'll keep manning up, but they already got the tier 1 tower. Ace 12 may get taken down on the Undying, but he's a tanky boy. Rolling Thunder from Makoto trying to rush forward. Lasso's up in 5 seconds for KP as well. Hyde, he's going to force staff away. Ace 12 just soul rips and walks out. He's fine. Talon, they will find nothing for that mid-tier 1 tower dropping, and suddenly Lilgun are rushing them. KP gets caught out once again on the Batrider, and he's gone. Another kill for 4-2-3 on the sniper. And Lilgun, if this keeps up, they're going to make a decent comeback throughout this game. One, I think, John. Scary times for Talon.
Yeah, they've just not been able to handle the sniper. Again, you can commit onto either the sniper or the Ember, but once you commit on one, the other one's running free and it's just going to be able to do damage. So you kind of have to pick your poison here on Talon's end. It's been a really tough game for KP as well. He's been acting as the sacrificial offlaner, trying to work onto the Force Staff, only lacking the recipe at this point. But it does feel like he's going to need a lot more. He's going to need more durability items. Maybe something like a Shivas could be helpful, or a Lotus Orb could be helpful overall to dispel that silence. Maybe even a BKB might be required, and all of those items are going to take farm that Talon are just shoveling into Mikado and Savage instead. So for KP to kind of have some impact, it's going to take a while for him to have that utility on hand. And the Lilgun, as long as they play at its pace, and you've got a Sniper that scales, you've got an Ember that scales, you're facing a team with very little hard lockdown at the moment. So it's always going to feel a lot better for Lilgun. And Talon, their only fallback's really just Savage. He is farmed up, but again, for a Terrorblade to carry this game up against all these heroes is really tough.
Smoke out, they've got a double damage here on Lilgun. I thought they might force Roshan, they won't. They'll head up top instead. They really enjoy going after KP. The thing is, holding this Batrider down like this is just fantastic, because he's the answer to the Sniper. If you can't get KP a game, this Sniper's going to have the freest game, but a very quick blink out is going to mean he is fine. Raw was not there in time. You don't have anything like a Blink Dagger on 11 yet. He just picked up the Helmet of the Overlord. So instead, Lilgun, they are going to try and pressure the top tier 2 tower a bit. KP will stick around to delay this with the Flame Break. Knowing the Blink isn't available on 11, he can't initiate this time around. So KP's going to be alright.
Still a lot of damage flying out here from Lilgun with all the heroes up top. That little Ancient Black Dragon as well. Doesn't take too long. They will find a tier 2. And Talon has found bot earlier on. They do manage to capture the outpost, so should be trading jungle sides here. 11 to 10. 2k lead still standing for Talon, but it's not that much anymore. 19 minutes in. KP with a Force Staff, though, could go for some deeper dives with a lasso, so see if they find the opening, but looks like Talon wants to commit down bot and force something out.
I think they're getting kind of afraid with the Sniper, right? Like, oh, nice lasso out. They've got the Ember, but they haven't got the damage. Straight out. Sanctity, he's fine. Instead, they're onto the tier 3 tower. You don't want to delay this against the Sniper. High ground defense gets very, very strong for Lilgun as the game goes on. So Savage, he wants at least one lane of barracks, but in the meantime, Roshan is happening. This is a very interesting trade from Lilgun. They haven't got the time for this. Tier 3 tower is going to drop. Talon, do they keep going? Roshan is still being done here by Lilgun. They have not backed off. And Talon have no idea. Talon had no idea. They scan out, but it's all too late. Oh, what a missed opportunity by Talon. What a play from Lilgun. They trade their tier 3 for the first Roshan.
Yeah, they play a bit too defensive on Talon. Decide not to rush up. Might have had enough time to at least get maybe a range racks out of that. Still, they play it safe, giving Lilgun a bit of an opening. Secondary life up now in 4-3-3, so catching out the Sniper just becomes extra tough. You're going to have to commit twice on that hero. You do have the finished BKB up in Mikado, so it should be a little bit safer for him to try to find rolls, try to find the angles in these fights. And Savage is inching closer and closer towards that Scotty. He's starting to look pretty damn big on the Terrorblade, but has to tempo himself around that Metamorphosis here as well. For Lilgun, they've still got a lot of play here. They're fairly equal in terms of map control, except for that tier 3, and they might find some kills.
Yeah, Hyde. Again, very good positioning from the edge. Always in front, making sure Savage does not get spotted out first. They'll all back out. 4-2-3. Just have a look around with the shrapnel, but is not going to find the TB. As Savage will back towards his own base. On the dire end of things. Very close to the Eye of Skadi timing now as well on Savage, so you really don't want to die if you can avoid it. In the meantime, Makoto, he'll push down the top tier 1 tower and get something for his team while all this is happening. But it seems like Lilgun are more than happy to get started on the bottom tier 2. Of course, they've got a very nice power spike with the Helm of the Overlord here on this Beastmaster. We've seen how hard 4-2-3 hits already on this Sniper. So that'll be the bottom tier 2 tower gone. Can they go high ground with this Aegis? It seems like they want to try. Metamorphosis is back up in 5 seconds, so you're not going to have too many issues here as Talon. You might lose his tier 3. We'll see if Talon want to try and defend this. So far, Savage, he is not on the base, and neither is Makoto.
They clear out the creep wave, pop the fortify. That's enough to drag back the side of Lilgun just for the moment. still have a lot of good space on the map, and the next time they recommit fully with 4-3 around, the answers are hard to find for Talon. Lilgun just have a really big edge with how they've itemized, with how they've played the game so far. Despite being a bit behind in net worth, it just feels like if they work their angles well enough, they should be able to still punish Savage. They have this really good magical combination of just Roar, Ancient Seal, and Mystic Flare onto one. And they've got the Mystic Flare Assassinate. They've got this earlier out of Atos up on our Skyrack Mage as well. Kishka just managing to find a farm. So you've got the hold. And for Talon, that's a really big issue. Just a lack of hold overall. Scotty fully up on Savage with Metamorphosis ready to go. So you can have a little bit of play here on the side of Talon. They will go for a smoke with that.
See what they can get done. It's a 5-man smoke. Scotty is up. Savage, he's feeling very strong now. Problem is, Lilgun not really showing on the map. Hiding around that mid lane at the dire end of things. They'll use a TB illusion, try to bait out something. Shrapnel will give the information away, and there's your lasso. KP, he's got the sniper. They'll lock him down for a little bit, but they've got that big target they wanted. 4-2-3. He at least has a secondary life. Meanwhile, Makoto, he's holding everyone else back on the side of Lilgun. In they go again, onto 4-2-3. He's in dire straits right now against 23 Savage. He can't man up. He's gonna drop. Savage has his way with him. And in they go, Talon, with the sniper gone. Understand this is their team fight to win, as Makoto ends up dropping. Wait a minute. Savage, he's got Sunder. He's got to be very careful here as Sanctity keeps going. Savage, where's the Sunder? Oh, he pops it onto KP.
Wow.
Oh, boy. They lost the team fight after the sniper dies. How does that happen?
A bit strange. The fight was broken up into two parts. Tombstone was left alone. They were focusing on the sniper. Mikado was really far forward, but that's kind of what you expect out from your Pangolier. I feel like that was a bit of miscom, because he got the Rolling Thunder off. He actually missed the first roll onto the sniper because KP was forced half backwards, and they dragged the sniper further away from where Mikado wanted to play. So it split the fight up way too much. It took Savage away from helping contribute in the middle of that, and just gave Lilgun a lot of room to do what they want to there. 1k lead left for Talon on the back and forth.
We're having a look at the replay now. I just want to see how they ended up turning it here, because 4-2-3 goes down. Savage obviously had his way with him. Ace 12 was so... Oh, never mind. We aren't going to get to see, because there is a team fight breaking out. Hyde, he's in trouble. Assassinate going to follow him down. Not going to be enough. He's fine with the heals out. Lilgun certainly feeling themselves now, John. Only 1k behind the side of Talon. In fact, win probability is actually going their way. 61% the way of Lilgun at the moment.
Yeah, it's just hard to handle all of that mobility. You've got the Blink up now in Sanctity. He's got a Lincoln Sphere to protect from the lasso plays. So Talon are heavily reliant on just Q landing a good rebound or just a good roll out from Mikado. Easier said than done. And in that last fight, they just split that fight up so badly that Mikado was completely isolated. It was him standing in the middle of there while everyone else was just focused on 4-2-3. And that just left a gaping hole. Mikado is not tanky enough to take that fight by himself, even with a BKB. And they just managed to punish well. They catch out Q.
Yeah, Q, he's gone. Trying to make a bit of space for his team, just pushing out that bot creep wave, but he is going to sacrifice his life for it. Sanctity starting to look very scary on the Ember as well here, John. We know how great this man can be on the Ember. Looking towards that shard build up next, and second in net worth only to 23 Savage at the moment. We always talk about it. Once you get the Ags upgrade on the Ember Spirit, it becomes very frightening to try and fight against it.
Yeah, it becomes really hard to pin him down. They've already had issues in trying to control both the Sniper and the Ember Spirit. They can only hold one at a time. Talon gonna need to find more. I think you're really needing something like a Basher and Mikado. Maybe a Hex out in KP can also help the cause here. Although he still needs something defensive for himself on that Batrider. He's trying to go for the Yules. Once you have that, at least that security of being able to not get silenced, still get the lasso and the Force Staff off, you start to feel a little bit better. But again, you have to watch for the Lincolns as well. And there's even a nice Lotus Orb on hand from Lilgun to kind of help control and deal with the control coming out from the side of Talon, at least. So more play there. Talon, I mean, Savage is about to get a Hurricane fight, which is a nice addition, but he's going to need more. He's trying for the Blink. into the Daedalus. Gonna smoke up here in Talon's part.
Here we go. Ace 12, the good position. The Undying does break. Tombstone down immediately. He's done his job already. He's happy to die here, Ace 12. He's still a very, very tanky target, though. Soul Rip, it's not going to be up this time. Ace 12 does die. Savage, he tries to get rid of this Tombstone on the cliff and does do so. Talon, not a bad start for them so far. Sanctity, going to jump back in. Does find KP on the bat right. A 1-for-1. Certainly in the favor of Lilgun. It's a call for a support trade. Lilgun, they let them know about it. They're happy with that.
Yeah, Talon, Mikado tried to jump Kishka, couldn't find that full kill on the Sky. We really tried to just gun down the supports, but couldn't find the full complement. Now you have that secondary Linken's up on 4-2-3. So both cores really well protected with the Lincolns. KP's going to have a next impossible task of trying to get a good lasso off in these games. And for Talon, the game just gets harder and harder. Their play is just very difficult to pull off. And for Lilgun, it's just much easier to run and gun with this kind of draft. Roche in a minute and a half, going to have that opening relatively soon. You don't have much of a window here for Talon. Metamorphosis down for a minute 20. And the side of Lilgun should be able to make their way towards that Roche and try to force it out when it's up, if they have control. They do have better map state right now, with 2 tier 2 still standing. Although tier 3 is down bot, but it's not the biggest deal in the world with the Ember, and they immediately smoke up here.
Talon again have that high ground advantage. Wards down, they'll get the D ward off against, and now a nice chains. Sanctity gonna force out the Rolling Thunder from Makoto. They can't fight now, they've got to back out of here, Talon. Very defensive use of their spells. Luckily for them, Roshan is not up yet. So Lilgun, they will not be able to take the Roshan straight off the bat, seeing that Rolling Thunder go down. They'll have to wait 35 seconds for it to be back up. But there is going to be about a 20-second window where Rolling Thunder is down and Roshan is up. Lilgun, they might still be able to take this one if they spot it fast enough.
They should be able to. They've got the Beastmaster, they've got the Hawks, their bodies are right by the pit. They know it's coming up soon. And it's Talon who's really pressed against the wall here with no clear angles while having to wait for that rollout. They will have Metamorphosis up, and Talon will actually smoke here.
They will. They understand they can't let Roshan go down. In they go. Sanctity, he'll break the smoke. That's a great smoke break here from Sanctity. With that blink being up, they are giving nothing the way of Talon. Roshan is now available, but they don't feel comfortable forcing it anymore. They'll take the outpost instead. Lilgun now with the 1k advantage themselves. And they're just going to play this one slow. They've got the sniper. There's just no need to rush. And Sanctity, he's working on towards that Aghanim Scepter we talked about. In fact, he's most of the way there anyway. Bit more gold and he'll have it up, and well, then the real problems start here for Talon.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say they already have issues anyway. It just becomes worse and worse as this game goes on. They've got to find a way to get more out from these engagements. They've got to be able to somehow take control of the sniper and the Ember. It just feels like an impossible task with what they have. They are going for a bit of a split push. They will find a tier 2 mid for their trouble. They do get an objective off the map. The side of Lilgun is lining up for the high ground, though.
Forcing all the TPs back. Lilgun, they could probably just rush Roshan now if they want, but 4-2-3 is going to at least try and go for the tier 4 as Savage is going to go in and break the Lincolns, and Rolling Thunder is there. Lasso is out, but Lotus Orb was there in time, so KP, he'll get locked down. 4-2-3 still dropping low though, but the Soul Rip is going to heal him up. 4-2-3, he will drop. Savage does pick up the kill. Q with a triple, in fact, on the Marcy. Jumping right back in with the rebound. They want Sanctity. Another Remnant away, but he only has one left. He'll blink out instead, Makoto. He does get on point with the swashbuckle, but it won't matter. He does not have a basher up. Still 3 down for Lilgun now. So Talon, they might be able to force that Roshan.
That was an insanely difficult angle to take. Savage blinked in, immediately used Sunder to pop one Lincolns. They used the Force Staff to pop another, and they get the lasso off. They managed to secure that big kill on 4-2-3. I mean, it's so difficult to get that done, but they managed to do it. Still, Sanctity with the Ags up could try for a bit of a cheeky steal here. Gonna be a bit tougher for Roche to take safe.
He certainly could. Chain, Sleight of Fist are out. Talon not feeling safe anymore. Lilgun, they have their full squad back up as Sanctity, just manning up. He doesn't care. Ags is available, so he has so many remnants now. And he'll get Roshan started himself. They've got the Hawk Vision advantage. 3 Hawks out at the moment. It's very hard for Talon to force the fight now. Roshan dropping. KP, he might go for a steal of his own. Roshan's getting very low. Savage is in. Reflection out. Roshan still low. Is going to go down. 4-2-3's got it on the sniper. Makoto, he's a bit too late to the party. Rolling Thunder is going at least, so maybe they can lock down this sniper, as they've even found Sanctity on the Ember. He'll drop for 75 seconds. That's a decent start. 4-2-3 trapped up in the Roshan pit. Is going to run with the 4-star, but the chase is on Savage. Going to have his way with him. Aegis is down. He's out of position right now on that sniper. 4-2-3. He'll knock himself onto the high ground. Sunder's there from Savage, just making sure Lincoln's is broken. And Q will pick up another. 4 down for the side of Talon, or excuse me, for the side of Lilgun. Talon, they're the ones to take 4 lives, and John, there's no buybacks. Oh, no!
That is just shocking. I mean, it is a tough game for
Lasso.
Talon. They get one more.
Final piece of the puzzle here. The team wipes out Talon. What a comeback in this game 1. How are they doing this, John? This is magic.
Just think about how difficult this game is. Like, to catch the sniper, to catch the Ember in that angle, for them to work the angles, for Makoto to just jump in, get a perfect Rolling Thunder in the pit, and for them to also isolate out Sanctity with the Ags. We felt like it was nearly impossible to catch the Ember out at that point. They still managed to find that. They take themselves the range racks down bot with a little bit of the shove in, melee racks down mid, and take the last outer tower here. Aren't going to be able to go high ground with the respawns coming up, so not able to really use that lack of buyback to their advantage. But Talon are playing a near perfect game. Like, this is, I know how to say it. Like, you're up against Ember, you're up against Sniper, you've got double Lincolns up, you've got so much protection, you're very reliant on just the lasso, rebound, and Rolling Thunder, not the most reliable stuns to get things started here up against Lilgun, and you're still finding these very awkward angles. You're using Sunder in creative ways to just pop Lincolns and just try to stay alive in the middle here from Savage, and it's been paying off. He's not been punished. Smoke out from Lilgun with the respawns. Might try to find a pick off or two, but the side of Talon have backed off. Gonna be a bit tough to find a target.
You saw the graph right there, a huge dip going on from Lilgun back the way of Talon. And, well, don't want to say it, John. It also looks like the crypto market right now, so no need to open the app. That's basically what it looks like at the moment. Makoto. Guarding out, Sanctity. Chains out. He's going to find the Pango, but can't really do too much about him right now, though I say that. Rolling Thunder. Rather, the roll up is there. Makoto going to be fine as even the Hurricane pushes him out. 9k advantage for Talon. 2 racks is up. I suppose the melee barracks is still standing at the bot lane, to be fair, so maybe only 1 rack's up. Lilgun definitely not out of this game yet. They still have that crazy good high ground defense with this sniper, and of course the Ember Spirit, but just going to make sure not to get caught out by the lassos of KP. I'm going to give props to Talon. They've been very good with the coordination of breaking these Lincolns. That's the key. You've got to break all the Lincolns, all the Lotuses, get rid of them. Give KP that free lasso back into the 4-stars out, and well, the sniper is free food after that. You see 4-2-3, he is building up very defensively into a BKB now. There's going to be a smoke out from Talon. 4-man smoke. Through the mid lane. Into that Radiant jungle they go. They'll spot out Kishka first. KP will pop the Firefly immediately as Savage does go right in. The Skywrath in trouble is gone. Meanwhile, Raw on the side has found out Q, but there's a lasso. It does catch out the Beastmaster. They'll have their way with 11 as well. He'll try to make a run for it. Soul Rip is there, but not enough. In fact, Makoto, he'll find another onto the Undying. In fact, never mind. He'll chase down the sniper. Meanwhile, Sanctity, he's out of mana. The damage is too high. Savage, he still might drop and does. Ace 12. He's the one on the Undying getting it done. Meanwhile, this sniper is still alive as Makoto was the only one chasing. And so Savage, they get wiped out here, Talon. They're 4 down, 3 without buyback.
Yeah, but they managed to force the buybacks out from Lilgun. So they expend a lot of resources on Lilgun for a fight that isn't even on their high ground, maybe just right next to their base. 3 buybacks out, 2 big ones from 2 cores, 11 Sanctity having to show back in that fight. Respawns aren't too far off either. So by the time they hit high ground, only Savage might have to buy back in the middle of this fight. He doesn't have Metamorphosis, so even that might not be necessary. And it's down to Talon to try to execute. Without the damage of Savage, though, this fight is a lot harder to pull off.
He's got buyback, though, at the very least. You already pointed this out, but he's going to be just fine. Lilgun. I think you just take the time to farm up that BKB on 4-2-3 for now. No need to try and rush high ground at the moment. They'll just be happy with a bit of space on the map to keep that farm going. In fact, I say they're happy. Maybe they're hoping for Talon to be out of position for another gank attempt here from Lilgun. They are known as a very aggressive team. They don't like to back off very often, that's for sure. Speaking of BKBs, Savage will buy his out now, and there's the BKB of the sniper. 4-2-3, he'll bring his out on the courier. So more defense to come out for the sniper. Working onto the Mjolnir next here for the old sniper. Meanwhile, Talon, looks like they'll run into a double damage rune up at top rune.
Unfortunately, Roshan still a ways off here. 2 minutes until we see that respawn timer. With a BKB up on 4-2-3, the big issue now is breaking that Linken's. If he pops the BKB preemptively, you do not have a smooth ride into breaking the Linken's. You'll always be protected from the lasso. So the timing is key. If they break the Linken's first and then the BKB pops later, you still have an angle there for KP. But it's all about those little timings, these micro plays coming out from both sides. Lilgun just going to be camping around where they have a ward. This is where they took that last successful fight. A little bit of an FPS drop here. So we disconnect, reconnect, as we do have in Southeast Asia. This is something we've missed out on a little bit in China. Didn't have as much of this. Mainly just Kale.
Certainly so, Jonathan. That gives us a chance. I mean, you know, second series of the SCA qualifiers, John. I can only ask, have you had merienda today, Jonathan?
Not yet. You know, it's later down the day. Still have lunch lined up in the meal list. Did have a little bit of a instant noodle action for breakfast. That's actually my breakfast for like the entire
You guys had
qualifiers.
breakfast?
You know, you gotta have something when you wake up. You know me, Mike. When we're in the two lands we were together, I'd always wake up for breakfast, even though I'd not have any sleep. I'm like, I gotta get that buffet. Gotta get that breakfast. So breakfast is good. I had some instant macaroni and cheese, Mikey. Very nice.
Ooh, very good.
Very tasty. Yes.
Very
What do
good
you have
indeed.
lined up for yourself, Mike?
Nothing. That's what a true caster diet, Jonathan. You eat nothing. You just man up and tank through it.
Nah, isn't the caster diet's more like a, you know, instant noodles, right? Like that's a classic for all of us, I think.
Not if
You're
not if
taking
you
it to
live
the
in
next
Australia,
step.
John. Yeah.
God
Yeah,
damn
this-
Australia.
With the prices we have here, John, you ain't buying nothing.
Oh,
I don't know if I
jeez.
told you, John. Oh my goodness, look at that, Jonathan. What a beautiful cosmetic here for the Bat Rider KP. Not too. I want to say that doesn't really follow the law, Jonathan. It doesn't look much like a bat. I believe that's a scarecrow for the Bat Rider. We don't want to look at the sniper, Mr. Observer. A sniper's just a, you know, I don't want to say trash hero, John, but it is. Skyrath Mage, the hero with the longest voice line in the game. Very, very good. Undying, perhaps? Let's have a look at this Undying. One of your favorites, John. A huge draw on the man. Very, very hard to knock this man out. How are you feeling about the Undying this current meta?
Feels good. Really good in lane. Decay is just really nice, and the changes to Decay, the fact that you don't have to worry about someone just completely tangling back up is pretty good. Do you want to comment on the Skyrat? For some reason, in that specific pose, he looks like a fella that really enjoys his MCR, right?
Well,
He looks like a
you know-
guy who enjoys his mid-2000s emo rock, good kind of music.
I mean,
Just
you look
very
more
emotional.
like a guy trying to take a cute selfie, to be honest with you, John. Just the tilted head, you know, wings out, proper lighting. Very, very good. Very good.
Yeah, you know, in that kind of mid-2000s goth way, right? Like, just very emotional, taking some selfies,
I was
rocking out. He looks like a very sad person, Sky. I don't know
I-
why. He gives me that aura.
I was there once, Jonathan. I was there. Listening to the My Chemical Romance and all that garbage. I'm not going to call them
Garbage?
They were really... Well, they were good, but there was a lot of garbage is my point back in those days. I mean, there was some good stuff, but my God, was there a lot of garbage. I mean, anyone can scream into a microphone. You know, I could, you know, hear cats screeching as well. You know, it's not that hard. Some of it was great.
True. Yeah, you would have a little bit of that. Back and forth. Still a little bit of a back and forth shove now coming out from Talon onto the last tier 3 here for Lilgun. Lilgun on the opposite side of the map trying to split push and farm where they can. not a full commitment out from Talon either. Although they have managed to clear out the ranged racks on mid. So only the melee down bot and the full set up top left to deal with. And looks like Lilgun isn't willing to take the first step here just yet.
Sidekick on the old TV illusion. That'll sort out the damage issues somewhat. Again, the high ground's not going to be easy for Talon to try and infiltrate here, as you are up against Sniper Ember. Never going to be very fun. Might have to wait out the next Roshan, and we are actually going to find out when Roshan does respawn in about 5 seconds from now. So Talon obviously hoping for an early Roshan timer, if they can get one. They've already got the little Wild Wing creep just in there, and they do get an early timer. 5 seconds.
Oof. Yeah, that's a pretty scary one for both sides. Talon does have the better position right now. Lilgun might be keen in trying to force a fight out, but Talon might be able to clear this rush extra fast. Metamorphosis is ready. He spotted out, but the smoke out is perfect from Lilgun. Perfect timing. Let's see if Talon can kind of break it, or if Lilgun just takes control here.
Yeah.
Radiant's top tower is under
This 5-man smoke is there from Lilgun. They're going to try and do something about this, but I think it's more about relocating. Not going to Roche?
No, I mean, Lilgun just kind of stuck down. They didn't expect a Roshan. Had no vision, but with a smoke, you figured they'd try to get out. The scan doesn't spot anything either. So free Aegis out for Savage. The Hawk comes in a bit late here from 11. So major objective going the way of Talon. With a refresh on hand for Savage, that means you've got Metamorphosis on your second life. You've got double BKB use. You've got everything you'd want here in the Terrorblade.
You love to see it. Let's put the BKB in the backpack, but probably have that up at the secondary life if he does need it. I think for Lilgun, to be fair to them, John, it was a 5-second Roshan timer. They probably just weren't expecting it to be that fast. Sometimes you just get very unlucky in this game. It happens. At least for Lilgun, that is. Talon got very lucky with that one. Lilgun.
It's fair.
They still have great high ground defense here, Lilgun. You know, even with the Aegis up, like it's not going to be impossible to snipe that first Aegis just from the high ground itself.
Yeah, it's time for us to see 423 with his 360 no scopes, high skilled sniper play coming out in the high ground hold. Talon, I mean, they've got this 13k lead. A lot of that is still riding on 23 Savage.
Savage? That's a dangerous position. He's under vision right now. Makoto's going to be there to make sure nobody gets into that triangle. A bit of a ballsy play just blinking into that high ground like that. Maybe just not expecting him to have the vision. And look at that cliff. There's 3 sentry wards around it, but the observer ward's just standing. Nobody knows.
Yeah, they get the Hawk, but it's not quite in vision as well. They were pump faking the assassinates. I'm sure Savage knows that there is vision there. They just can't be bothered to really fully commit to find it again. And that will give Lilgun a little bit more play. They can kind of angle themselves, kind of know when to expect that jump in, know how to position themselves in this fight. Surprised Mikado isn't kind of just dipping up with a blink to give it a cheeky little check, but Lilgun will have just a little bit of better time. They're not going to push outside. They know all of Talon's on that high ground, so they should be able to cut their losses very early on. Still early, slow and steady push is just going to whittle away on that tier 3 eventually. The illusion spam is starting to get fairly annoying.
It certainly is. Kodo still just making sure that mid wave is never allowed to come out. Lilgun, all they can do is hold. Just keep holding. There's a smoke out. They're going to try and punish somehow. Talon hanging around that mid lane at the moment.
Radiant's top tower has
Tier 3
fallen.
tower's going to drop to the illusion of 23 Savage. Counter smoke now. Talon looking to move in. Maybe through the bot lane. They could sneak their way in if they want. What's down? They'll just got a bit of a warding run. KP will show himself on the Pango, hoping someone will take the bait. Savage, meanwhile, will go on the melee barracks down at that bot lane. Get started. KP make the blink in, but does not find the lasso target he wanted. He'll back off.
Radiant are scanning.
Melee barracks still safe, at least for now. Does drop very low, but Talon, you don't really want to fight into the tombstone if you can avoid it. Savage, he might keep trying, but it is certainly very risky. We'll back off in the air.
Just play it safe. Tombstone's a fairly long cooldown to expend, although not the longest now, with only a 30-second downtime. Still fortifies down. That's a longer cooldown that will hurt. Once they find this, they could go for more.
There goes that melee barracks. They just wait out the tombstone. So Savage, he does pick it up. No problems. Metamorphosis gone, but he does have a refresh shot in the backpack. The Rod of toss him up. He'll be fine to just 4-staff away. Lilgun still trying to find something for this bot. Rax going down, finding nothing yet as Savage will break the Lincolns onto 4-2-3. Very ballsy play here from the TB. He doesn't get punished for it. He's fine.
Yeah, he still has 30 seconds left on the Aegis. He's been using that Witchbane really well to dispel some of this aggression still.
Sanctity jumps in. He's had enough. He wants to get something done. Onto KP he goes. Hyde also dropping low. Refreshes there. Makoto. He's going to land a great rolling thunder into the lasso. It's perfect timing. He'll go down, but the buybacks are there. Savage, he'll get roared up. Hyde will drop KP, barely surviving, but the chase is on. Sanctity, he'll find a second. Q will eat the cheese. They found the Ember once again. They might have him, and they do. He got bashed. He got bashed by the Marcy. Unfortunate. That'll be a dieback on Sanctity. The question is, can Talon go high ground once again?
I mean, without the Ember, you really just need to worry about the sniper, and they did lose Aegis in that engagement. You still have the refresh ready on Savage for a secondary BKB use, and the Metamorphosis is ready to go once more. You should be able to. I think as long as... It's a bit harder without KP, but if you get a good angle for a roll back in here on Mikado, you might still have enough to kind of get that sniper handled. If not, you can just keep trying to spam out these illusions. You've seen the damage they do coming out from Savage. It is substantial.
It certainly is. Savage onto the high ground. Refresher shard still available. Lakota, he'll pop the Rolling Thunder right into the backside, just holding everyone else back and allowing Savage to get to work. Melee Barracks about to drop as Makoto just continues to stun everyone up. And Savage, he'll get the top racks, no problem. That'll be Megas. Happy death time for the side of Lilgun.
Yeah, happy death indeed. Lilgun just gonna have to try to stall as best as they can with mega creeps up. This game is a lot harder, but still, it is a sniper on defense of the Ancients. This is where sniper can kind of specialize. And, with the Ember respawning in 40 seconds, you might have some play, but that's a lot of time they have to stall.
Jump in. Makoto trying to get aggressive. Savage, he got 4-star forward. He'll go for the man fight into the Beastmaster. Still 11, somehow surviving, but eventually will drop. There's your Sunder from Savage. Meanwhile, Q, he's the real man. Jumping in with the Unleash, but should go down. Still fighting back. Ace 12, actually going to drop himself. Now they've got the lasso onto 11. They'll take him down the rampage up for Savage. Oh, the Thai Beast from the southeast gets a rampage in game 1 of this best of 3 upper bracket round of 1 into the tier 3 tower. No GG call coming. Lilgun, they looked very stunned here, John. As Makoto moves in once again, they're going to keep trying for the defense. Sanctity, he's going to try, but the Ancient's going down. Sanctity can't stop it. He's still trying. In fact, hold on a minute. No, never mind. GG's called. It doesn't matter how hard he tries. The Ancient is gone. And that'll be the side of Talon taking game number 1 here against the side of Lilgun.
Yeah, they managed to make it work. They had a pretty atrocious start there in Talons, and Lilgun just finding everything they wanted. The only real player that had any sort of play in the laning phase into mid-game was really Savage. He was getting the farm, he was getting the space from his team. Mikado was getting some decent build-up as well. KP was sacrificed hard. Lilgun